Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat podcast. My name's Stuart Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. Today is December 17th. Holy smokes, Batman. Have you heard the one about the drones in Texas? They aren't there. People shoot in Texas. Just kidding. Okay, let's start with our stories here. Protest against LNG import permits. Climate defiance blocks unused entrance in the DOE garage. If you're going to protest, protesting an unused parking garage is a pretty good one. Germany is an economic model for what not to do. Holy smokes, they're the poster child. Oh, they are the poster child. What does the fall of Assad, Syria mean to the key players in the Middle East? This is a great breakdown. Got a lot on this story. Natural gas, not nuclear, is the key to powering North America's future. I'm hoping that nuclear kicks in, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to put a natural gas power plant in. Forget long-term noise. Oil prices are about the long-term trend. All right, let's get ready to rumble on the first story here. In first protest against LNG export permits, climate defiance blocks unused entrance to DOE garage. This one was David Blackman and I were laughing about that one on Monday morning about he was interviewed from the justthenews.com called him up, and this was actually pretty funny. Just the News breaking: we've shuttered the entrance to the Department of Energy. Cops swarming by the 100 senior officials on edge. Revolutionaire updates imminent, the group posted on X. And then that's the entrance to a closed parking garage, notwithstanding nitwit. The entrance is around on the other side, said in a comment on Client Defiance's post. It's not clear that the protest was shuttering the agency, as the group claims the Department of Energy is one of the least utilized federal headquarters in Washington, D.C. Again, Chris Wright is the upcoming Trump nominee for Secretary of Energy. He can get the DOE turned around quickly, and he's not going to have these things. There's about 4,000 or 5,000 people that are slated in the Department of Energy in the DC area, and only 8 have been averaging in the building at any time. So David and I laughing about this, having a fun laugh at these climate activists, when the climate activists have lost all power in the President Trump administration. You can't buy this kind of entertainment. But let's roll over to Germany. Germany is an economic model for what not to do. Do you all remember, take a moment and think over the last 10 years, Germany was always the poster child. They were the one that were out there just going gangbusters for renewable energy. They were leading the charge, and their economy has totally been wunderbar. There's a word out there. I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it, and I don't want to do that. So take the Schludenbogen off the side there from Germany, and it is gone. VW is closing down. The BASF has closed down. The steel mills. Many Germans like to see their country as a global leader in the fight against climate change, despite Germany being responsible for only 1.5% manned CO2 emissions worldwide. Advocates for climate action argue that Germany could serve as a role model for other nations, and I'm going to add, in how to deindustrialize. Germany's economy is critical to the EU. If Germany deindustrializes, and it has, the EU will fail. So fiscal irresponsibility is at play. And the states that are behind it and the other countries, the UK, we have New York, New Jersey, and California. Those are the ones that are following this path. It is just absolutely, the automotive industry, once a global leader around the world looked up with, has become a basket case. That is a quote. I love that. Germany's at the least world champion in climate protection? No, Germany holds a respectable third place in the Environmental Performance Index. But that category of climate protection, of all things, only comes in seventh place. Great Britain is in fifth. So all the money that they have done, and including closing all of their nuclear facilities, they're now having to renegotiate how much they're buying from France. And guess what France is doing? France is beefing up their 54 nuclear reactors, of which only 50% of those were running because they let their maintenance go to waste. So now they are getting to fund the maintenance to bring their nuclear fleet back up online, and they're charging the Germans. You can't buy this kind of entertainment. So the green energy policies of the Green New Deal are equal to fiscal irresponsibility. So let's go to this next story. What does the fall of Assad Syria mean to the key players in the Middle East? I've spent a lot of time talking with folks from around the world on how this really is being covered. But this article is from Simon Watkins at Oil Price, and he is a very cool cat. I really like his articles and recommend you follow him over there at Oil Price. Couple key points out of this article. No country will yet have felt the loss for Assad's Syria more than Russia, as it becomes a turning point for Vladimir Putin's Middle East strategy as he ordered his forces in the country in 2015 to prop up Assad's rule. But they still may keep the bases. They may not need them. Now, here's the thing. George McMillan, who I'd been talking to on this, he aptly pointed out, if Assad had allowed pipelines to go through and put pipelines through to be traded in the petrodollar or in natural gas, either oil or natural gas, he'd still be there. But because he didn't do that, he's out. I'll just leave it there for you to think about why he's out. So let's go to the next one. Natural gas, not nuclear, is the key to powering the North America future. After decades of the outs, the environmentalists and regulators, nuclear power is being heralded as a key component for net zero, future clean, reliable energy. Its promise is likely to fall short, however, due to some hard realities. North America grapples with providing secure, affordable, and sustainable energy amidst soaring electrical demand. It's time to accept this fact. Natural gas remains the most practical solution for empowering our grid and our economy. This article is spot on, and this one is from the C2C Journal. Natural gas is one of the key reasons the United States, and you've heard me talk about this before on the podcast, and that is the United States has dropped its CO2 output by closing its coal plants and replacing those with natural gas power plants. So we have dropped our CO2 output by a ballpark of 22% over the last several years, according to the EIA. Well, that being said, now the only way we are able to get a new natural gas power plants on with the Biden-Harris administration is if those are hydrogen, and for my podcast listeners, I've got air quotes going up, hydrogen-ready natural gas power plants. And I'd like to pose this as a poll to our listeners. What are the odds that you're going to see hydrogen pipelines active in the United States? Okay, I'm going to take that as not anytime soon. Just kidding. But if you think that they're going to happen, reach out to me. I want to visit with you. I've got some great podcasts coming around the corner with some really cool leaders. Okay, forget long-term noise. Oil prices are about the long-term trend. I like this one. This one is an article from Leonard Hyman and William Tiles, and they've got a couple really good points in here. And it is, the question is, what's the direction of oil prices and what does it matter? You remember the comment by John Gleneth Galbraith about economists making projections? He said that their only value is to make astrologers look good. However, I will answer, Oil prices will wobble around the trend line as they've been doing for the past half century. That's called reversion to the mean and does matter, or at least it's mattered for the last 50 years. And in this figure one, you can see that it is constantly going up to about the spot price of $70 WTI versus the spot price over time. And then you see a real price of oil, the spot price, as it's going across real time. I thought this was absolutely a very good article on this. Those investments, if properly made for decades, we can say what's best about the future with any certainty that the rate of population growth is falling faster than previously expected, and that a huge amount of money is poured into the development of electric and hybrid vehicles, which will eat into the oil industry's biggest market, transportation. Beyond that, whatever goes in the economic metric model is about highly paid guesswork. Well, guess what? The electric vehicles are not taking off and they are not eroding. We've kind of joked about it for a bit, and that is around here, the more money that is spent in renewable energy, the more fossil fuels will be used. Or you want to call it Turley's law, if you want, or Turley's rule. It's happening. We're going to see it again for this next year and to the foreseeable future. So with that, like, subscribe. Hey, it is at the almost at the end of the year. If you do have tax deductions that you need, please reach out. Go to energynewsbeat.co/, the survey. You can go to the main menu bar, take a look at that. Is your portfolio okay? Our investments have done quite well with RT Trevino over there at Pecos Operating, and we are averaging for this year about 32% on our investment, and it was a 98% tax deduction on that. So with that, like, subscribe, theenergynewsbeat.substack.com or energynewsbeat.co, and look forward to speaking to you all soon. Have a great day.